So, students, yesterday I had the first class with you, and I hope you are aware that your subject of ITAM, Information Technology Applications for Management, which was so far being taken by Madam Taimina, will henceforth be taken by me because Madam has been given some other additional load and she is not able to come to your class anymore. So, yesterday I started the topic of data mining. I told you yesterday that data mining is the process of extracting patterns from data, and the purpose of extracting patterns is to understand the behavior. I also told you yesterday that behavior could refer to behavior of human beings, machine parts, geographical locations in the universe, or players in a video game. All this information, when we collect, we can make use of it for our organization's benefits. I gave you examples yesterday of how understanding the behavior of voters can help a political party, understanding the behavior of customers can help the marketing department, and so on. Besides that, data mining also is used in various surveillance applications. Surveillance is for security. Security of national borders or perimeter of our own organization, the boundary walls, or it could be the security of goods in a mall, because in a mall, when the customer is leaving, you can't do frisking for each and every customer. It looks very rude. If you are coming out of the mall and a security guard puts his hand into your pocket and opens your bag, you won't like it. Therefore, CCTV cameras are used for surveillance. They keep watching who is trying to do shoplifting. If you have seen a beautiful bottle of imported perfume and put it in your bag and you are trying to go out, you will definitely be caught. If not immediately, maybe in the next visit. So all this is surveillance, and surveillance also depends to a large extent on data mining, because we try to understand the behavior of persons. What kind of person is likely to pose a danger to our products or a danger to our installation itself? Similarly, in an airport, what kind of movements of an individual look suspicious? This is also found by data mining. But there, we have to also use very advanced techniques based upon artificial intelligence, especially biometric scanning, X-ray baggage scanning, and face recognition systems. Simple CCTV camera is not enough there. You have also to install face recognition so that you can identify the person from the image in the CCTV. Right now, our government is in the process of implementing that at all the major airports. It will serve two purposes. Surveillance is one thing which I told you. It will also serve the purpose of speeding up the checking in of passengers and their passage through the security corridor. That also will become faster because you don't have to check the identity of the person, boarding pass of the person at each and every step. So like that, in that application also, data mining helps. Data mining is also used in fraud detection. What kind of behavior of a person on the website or on the browser is suspicious? Which kind of behavior will be the behavior of a possible hacker or possible snooper or possible fraudster? If you can understand that behavior, we can take preventive measures. So this process of data mining is used for several purposes like this, and there are several other terms also which have closely similar meanings, though not identical. Two terms which are almost identical to data mining I have written here. They are data dredging and data fishing. Dredging word, I think it's a new word for you. Dredging refers to taking out debris and garbage from the ocean floor near a port. Because near a port, the ocean floor is never very deep. It is not as deep as in the middle of the sea. There the depth of the ocean bed could be something like a few kilometers, but not at the port. At the port it is always very less. Port is very close to the land. And this depth of the ocean floor near the port goes on decreasing continuously because fish keep dying and a lot of garbage sinks into the water. That's why at a port, if you see, the ocean water is very dirty. It's not blue in color, it is almost black because it is full of a lot of garbage. And this depth, if it decreases too much, it can pose a danger to the ships. The floor of the ship can hit the ocean bed there, and if that happens, the ship immediately loses balance. Sea water enters the ship, and the cargo and the ship both will be destroyed. So to avoid that, from time to time, special ships are brought whose job is to take out the slurry and sludge from the ocean floor near the port. That process is called dredging. But when you call it data dredging, it becomes data mining. So data dredging is one more term which is used by certain authors with the same meaning as data mining. Similar is the case with data fishing. When we use the word fishing, we are extracting fish from water. Here, we are not extracting fish. We are extracting patterns from data. So, data fishing is also used. But a slightly different term is data snooping. Snooping is when you don't have complete data, when you have very limited data, and from that you want to glean some information, that is called data snooping. First, let us talk about the word snooping. What is snooping? Suppose there are two individuals sitting there and they are talking to each other in very low voice, in whispers. Two people are talking. Naturally, the rest of the people will be curious. What is going on? Are they talking about me? So what do the rest of the people do? If you want to find out what they are talking about, you will go to the back seat, sit there and carefully try to put your ear to their conversation. You will not be able to hear the total conversation, but just a few words here and there. And from that you will understand, oh, they are not talking about me, they are talking about a movie. No problem. This is called snooping. Snooping is also done by peeping into a room. Suppose there are a few people in this room, door is closed, somebody is outside and getting curious. What is going on inside? So in the door there is a small hole for the key. He puts his eye there and tries to see what is inside. Peeping. So snooping can be used in two senses: eavesdropping and peeping. But when we use the word data snooping, it means I don't have the total data with me. I have only samples of data. Samples of data can be samples of audio files about a conversation, samples of video clippings, say from a CCTV camera, samples of images which are captured by a camera, fleeting camera. So such things when you are using as your input and trying to get information from that, then we use the word data snooping. So from this you will understand, students, that the purpose is same, but multiple terms are used by different authors to convey the meaning of data mining. Data mining is certainly aimed at learning the behaviors, but not like the science of psychology or the science of psychoanalytics or psychotherapy. This is different. Data mining is based upon mathematical models, statistics, and most importantly, probability. These are the basic sciences which go into making the algorithms for the software which is used for data mining. So it is not a psychological subject, even though we use the word behavior very often in data mining. It's not a subject dealing with psychology, it is a subject dealing with basically mathematics, statistics, and probability. And these things can be handled wonderfully by software. That's how data mining is a computer subject. It's a subject dealing in information technology, and it also involves the concepts of machine learning. Now, how I am introducing the concept of machine learning in this, let me explain. If I give you a huge mass of data in a printed form, let's say on white sheets I print 500 pages of data and present to you, and I ask you, now you find patterns of data in this, it will be impossible for you. As a human being, we don't have that capability. Software can do that. Human being cannot do. Once we go through about 3 or 4 pages, our attention is lost. We forget what we have seen earlier. So, data mining is never a human process. It is always a process which is done by using software. So, we can say that in machine learning, there are several branches. And one of the branches of machine learning is data mining. There are other branches also. Yes, there is a very important branch called artificial neural networks. That is also a branch of machine learning. And in machine learning, we have again two kinds of machine learning: unsupervised learning, supervised learning. We also have a concept called deep learning. All this is there. I think once I mentioned to you in one of my classes that the artificial intelligence tool, which has just been introduced in the market, ChatGPT, is an artificial intelligence tool. It has got awesome capabilities. It can generate a Python program for a particular application. It can write a college essay on a topic, and it can do your college assignment in no time. You have to just ask it and you will get the answers. So this is a field, artificial intelligence, which is very wide field, and in that also data mining is one of the methods. And since in data mining we are going to work with data which is either in a database or in a data warehouse, so it also needs a complete understanding of the data management aspects. That means, how is the database designed? What is the metadata in that? What are the relationships? What kind of queries we can generate? And what kind of pre-processing is required before you can do any data mining? And after you get the results from data mining, what post-processing we can do, say for the purpose of visualization. Because simply getting the result from data mining is again not enough. You have to be able to present it in a very, very attractive and very understandable manner. So some visualization tools, something like a very good tool is Desktop BI from Microsoft. That can be used. It gives you wonderful visuals based upon the data that you extract. And another much cheaper but almost equally capable tool is Infinity. They say in the promotional literature of software Infinity that it is a big BI without the cost of big BI. I like that statement because it is certainly much cheaper than Microsoft's Desktop BI, and they say it has got almost similar capabilities. So such things are also needed in post-processing of data for visualization. And post-processing after data mining will also involve, equally importantly, online updating. Now, why that is coming to the picture? The reason is the source data is never constant. That itself is very dynamic. All the time it is changing. So, if you have done the data mining once and got some results, don't think that those results are applicable and valid for all future times. No, they are not. They need to be constantly updated. So students, when we do this, we discover structures of patterns from data, and these structures of patterns are much more than information. They actually give us knowledge. Knowledge about a happening, an event, or a behavior. That's why data mining is said to be aimed at knowledge discovery in databases. That means it's actually a process where you finally find knowledge through a database. Source is database, and what you ultimately get out of that is knowledge. Before data mining came, how were human beings getting this knowledge? I think that's also an important doubt which you should get in your mind. What were the methods earlier? Well, one of the earlier methods which was employed manually also is something which you have already learned in statistics. I am referring to regression analysis. Regression analysis also was aimed at something similar. Let me give you an example. So let's say we have some data about operating conditions of a machine in terms of, say, temperature, pressure, rate of flow, etc. And we also have the corresponding data for failure of certain parts. This is also data. So from that, without using data mining, the earlier people, how they used to get the information or knowledge? They were using regression analysis. So each input parameter was given some figure like X, Y, Z, and the output parameter is something, say, W, and then we used to find a multiple regression equation which links W with the parameters X, Y, and Z. This was simple regression, multiple regression, linear regression, non-linear regression. All these techniques were there in statistics, and you have learned them also in your subject for statistics for management. You will also learn these techniques more and more when you go to the further semesters. There will be a subject called quantitative techniques. They are more advanced techniques of regression analysis will be taught to you. So this is how in previous times the human beings used to find out information from a mass of data. But since the process was manual there, you could not handle a very voluminous data. But in modern times, the volume of data is too enormous, it is humongous. It is impossible to do it manually by using a desktop calculator or a pocket calculator. So today, we have to use the techniques of machine learning, and one of those techniques is data mining, and the other, as I mentioned short while ago, is the artificial neural networks, and also it has a lot of connection with machine learning and artificial intelligence. So things like support vector machines, SVMs, deep learning, all this are somewhat related disciplines which are closely related to the science of data mining. The main standard which we use in data mining is a standard which is basically European. It's a European standard which is being employed all over the world for standardizing the practices and designs of the software for data mining. That standard is called, you may like to note down, Cross-Industry Standard Process for Data Mining. Cross-Industry Process for Data Mining. Abbreviation is CRISP-DM. And another standard was given for data mining by the promoters of Java. Java is basically a programming language for internet and for mobile and desktop applications. So they also have a standard. Their standard is Java Data Mining Standard, JDM. So these two standards are used worldwide for standardizing the designs of data mining softwares, etc. And there is a professional body also which tries to provide guidelines and guidance to developers who are engaged in developing data mining software. That professional body is Association for Computing Machineries Special Interest Group on Knowledge Discovery. Now that is the same term which I told you a few minutes back, knowledge discovery in databases. So this is the professional body. It's a kind of, it's not a government body, it's a kind of informal professional body which tries to provide guidance and uniform best practices to the practitioners of software who are engaged in this particular activity. Many of the softwares which are used in data mining, they come from very reputed sources like Microsoft and Oracle, etc. But I am happy to inform you that there are a few open source softwares also available. So the advantage with these is you don't have to pay upfront for using the software. You can just download, and all that you are spending is only the data charges, and you get the updates also. But how do you get the support? Well, support is by a user base. So those users who are already using, they get a lot of experience in this and they provide the support. There is no company, there will be no customer support system available in such things. Incidentally, even big companies are many times doing that now. I have seen that in Microsoft. One of the Microsoft products is LinkedIn, which all of us use for professional networking. So in LinkedIn, if you have a problem, you don't directly go to the customer support system, no access is allowed. You have to first go to the support group. Support group is purely informal. It consists of hundreds of users who are very active on LinkedIn. And when you pose a query to that support group, most often they are able to give the solution. In fact, I had an experience like that in my LinkedIn account once the account got locked. It happened because I made a mistake. The mistake was I added my name, Hindi version also in the username. That was not liked by LinkedIn. They blocked my account. So I was struggling how to get back my locked LinkedIn account. So I contacted the support group. They solved the problem. They said you remove the Hindi version from your username because Microsoft still doesn't allow that. Microsoft allows in things like Outlook Mail or in OneDrive, but not on LinkedIn still. So I removed that and then it became okay. So such things have to be done when you are using open source software. The open source software which is most popular for data mining has a beautiful name. The name is RapidMiner. RAPID, Rapid Miner. So we will stop the class here. The topic is not yet over. I have still to talk to you about the probability distribution based theorem which is used in this. So in the next class, hopefully, we will talk about that.